Oh, good evening, everyone. This stream is now in session. Obi-Wan 362, Gamer and Law presiding. And welcome back to more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Crikey, I just dropped my phone. Oh, just so sure the victim fell through the skylight. Where's your proof? Sure. I feel like we did this already.
Hold it!
Proof. That's right. Amanda here.
Came here to see what we saw, I tell you. Not for this.
She call us both. She says, brand us as criminals.
You call us liars, that's what he means. And accuse us of doing it. As it stands at the moment, there's no hard evidence that incriminates yourselves now, is there? I believe we're in much the same position as one another here.
He'll crack this case soon. He'll crack his teeth.
I wonder if these two men really were involved in some way.
I think they were. Couldn't say. I mean, I don't really know anything about them, do I? So by the same token, I don't really know anything about Mr. McGilded either. It's hard to know what to believe here.
I think we should try to remember that it's evidence alone that can truly determine the outcome of a trial.
Evidence.
We can argue against decisive evidence, including the members of the jury.
So you're saying that what we need now is to find a conclusive piece of evidence.
Yes, Mr. Naruhodo, precisely.
Cool. Only two people up on that roof deck dead or alive. I can swear to that.
Hold it!
At no time did the victim, Mr. Mason, climb up to join you on the roof deck? Absolutely not, Dickin.
No question about it, he said. None at all. Oh, but yes, of course. I remember seeing them both.
What?
Saw the victim inside the enclosed cabin talking with this man here.
This is true, Mr. McGilded.
Dear me, my lord. At the risk of repeating myself, I boarded the omnibus alone, and nodded off inside almost immediately.
That's an outright lie. I doubt you were engaged in fisticuffs.
Let me stop over there, fella, and ask. Do you have any evidence at all? It's all about the evidence in the courts these days, so it is. You do well to remember that.
Well, I saw you, my own eyes. Oh, we did this already. Just don't. It's going so well.
Anything happened where we were sitting? Don't you think one of the other of us would have noticed?
Hold it!
Well, it was on the final run of the omnibus at past 10 o'clock in the evening. It would certainly have been quite dark. Perhaps too dark to see clearly? Is this some kind of a lark?
Is this some kind of a joke, he said? Is that what this is?
Maybe?
Yeah, Pump. Perhaps one or the other of you fell asleep briefly?
Are you fair dinkum, sir?
Are you serious, sir? That's what he said. It's impossible, I tell you.
I'd give you the keys of the vault if I could fall. I'd give you the keys of the vault if you could fall asleep in that bitter cold. If you did manage it, your eyelids would freeze shut. You'd never open them again.
That's extreme. It was extreme, I tell you. We had to put it up with it because this man had to lock the door. A true gent would have unlocked it and let me in when I knocked. Huh, I'm dreadfully sorry about that, young fella. But you see, I was away with the fairies and I didn't hear you at all. That's a lie. I saw you through the glass. You were talking to someone. Now, 'twas a cold night, so 'twas. People do be seeing things that aren't real in the cold. 'Tis hardly surprising. Say things! Oh, I oughta.
I believe we reached an impasse here on this particular point.
You. Don't take it personally now, lad. If I'm a suspect in this case, then 'tis only fair that you and the other fiend are too. Open and free competition is what a capitalist society is all about. It's not a competition I should like to be involved in, really.
In case neither of us know the first thing about the victim, we had no reason to kill the man.
Hold it!
But you did.
So you had never met Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason before?
Oh, no. Not once. Never.
Oh, really? He'd never met the man before, he said. Never! And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either? That's right, sir. I don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir.
No, I imagine not. You see, how many different ways can I put this?
At least 2 more, I hope.
Neither of us has the remotest connection to the gentleman who were inside the cabin.
Excuse me.
Can I ask you something, Mr. McGilded? Oh? What would that be, fella? Do you have something to say about that last statement? No, not really. Altogether happy with what's been said. Kind of you to ask. Still in all. Here, have yourself a tip. I think I was asking after his general well-being? Come, shut the entire time, I tell you. Could have possibly opened it.
Hold it!
But we know now that the skylight does in fact open. What's more, the catch that secures it is found on the roof deck and roof deck side.
Is
Uh-huh. Huh. Okay. Okay.
getting flaming onkus.
What's that even mean, sir? I'm not even saying real words anymore, sir. This is getting absurd, he said. Completely absurd. So is your dance. Stop it. Can't remember to punch Mr. McGilded.
That's right. Never knew the skylight had a catch.
Uh-huh. Is that the catch to this?
If we didn't know, we couldn't have opened it. And if we didn't open it, we couldn't have kicked the fella down.
Please, where is this idea about kicking the victim through the sky coming from? Whoever designed these characters anyway? Fancy not being open sky from the inside. What about breaking wind? Did they think about that? What if I have to fire? I need to be able to open the window, man. There's no point in having a skylight if I can't spare your embarrassment, is there? Sir, you're generating your own embarrassment right now. Really getting off topic here. If you actually have a point, pray do enlighten the rest of us. Well, I'll tell you what my point is. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? First, we're like... Probably sure about from view by an old crooked hat. Yes. So I was sure the church.
Hold it!
I think this is where it is. Never met thrice fired Mason before. Before he said, never went through all this before. Ghost Kitchen. Lady first. I'm on board, Bowser. You don't convince me. I'm on board. Why did you think I did convince me? You said Donbury Restaurant. Like... Okay. God bless you. Twice. Thrice. Or I could just order for lunch and eat it all. I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying I could. Where was this revelation earlier on Monday when I needed lunch? Our friends. Okay, so this dude, he's actually a woman. He hasn't said it. Definitely is. Because his name is Lady First. All the hair is just hidden up in that hat. Which is why it
isn't sitting level. And also because he's bad at making hats. Crack the case!
Oh, imagine not. See, how a different ways can I put this? So the most connection to the gentleman, we're inside the cabin. But you did, because you had... Aren't you...
And the other one, but it's right next to it.
Yeah.
That's right, this is about motive. We had none. You sure you didn't have any motive? No motive, well, it's not all, is it? This guy was fast as shut before. Now the catch has been undone, so we should be able to open it. Trying to see inside the carriage for this opening, that's for sure. So there's a lamp in his cabin. See clearly. It's looking for us. Aha! There it is. Whoop! There it is. Check out the omnibus. It's a wonderful view of London streets from up here. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in freezing cold as a punishment? Price pay. It's really see inside the carriage for this opening, that's for sure. There's blood there! How do I... Where did you get... It does open very wide, doesn't it? Kick someone like you through, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. Why someone like me? What happened? Look, just here. Look at this. Blood. That's without question. It's blood. Why would there be a blood stain there? Surely, it can't be unrelated to the case, can it? There we go. We've done it now, Jeeves.
Objection!
On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach. And immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts, and the irrefutable proof remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom.
What? That's utter humbug. You can't possibly have any evidence.
No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you. It's impossible.
Irrefutable proof? Here, in this courtroom?
Counsel,
My lord?
I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here, Where exactly within the omnibus is this evidence to which you allude? You point out what it is that proves the victim fell from the roof deck through the skylight.
Happy to do so, my lord. Ah, butts.
Got it!
Got it!
By Jupiter, is that blood?
This bloodstain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open.
What?
And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening.
Oh my!
And so it follows that Mr. McGilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime. Order!
Hold it!
But the blood could have sprayed up there when the fellow was stabbed inside the cabin. It only found its way on to that one particular spot on the skylight. Sure, ain't that? Would be very convenient. Well, let's keep it in mind that the skylight catch can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, would I? But, there's no way for certain, is there? If the gem really fell through the skylight, I mean... Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? It is all too plain, if ye see. Which means Mr. First is actually Mrs. Mason. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fella dropped from a far height right there, so it is. What? No! But it can't be! It's all... lies!
My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is a clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we?
I believe we can, yes, sir. It's clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom. So, they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they?
I won't tolerate any of the guild's carriages being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it, Beppo!
Oh, I always knew that nice gentleman who gave us that delightful park couldn't have done such a thing.
All three then, everyone. 1,
2, 3.
Objection!
Uh-oh. Chilling performance, Mr. McGilded. Oh? What would you be referring to there now, Miss Lord Van Zykes? A blood stain on the frame of the skylight? Such evidence is null and void. What? Why? Bowles would like everyone to know that Lord Van Zykes is null and void. Let the record reflect. For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed. Sir?
Objection.
What are you talking about? Because it wasn't there before the smoke screen happened. It's there for all to see. It's clearly blood.
Objection.
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the omnibus. The officers involved went over to the garage where they fine-tooth comb. Okay. So I can state with absolute surety. No such smear of blood existed in the garage. At least, not until this trial began. But...
Excuse me. Oh, are you suggesting, Lord Van Zykes, that this stain of blood was...
fabricated, my lord. Yes. And while this court has been in session... What? Rinosuke, I need you to stop falling to pieces every time somebody does something. What a palaver. What does that mean? Sir, this is a court of law. I must say, I didn't expect such crude reasoning from the prosecutor of your standing, Lord Van Zykes. But I'm Magnus McGilded, a fellow known all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. Don't take kindly to slander. Don't fight it to the bitter end. Even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper of the Bailey. Mr. McGilded, I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. What's bad? You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that a case you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts. Adapt the facts? What does that even mean? Sir, how many glasses do you have? When you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGilded's, however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir. Tut tut, Lord Van Zykes. This will not do, not to be sure. Fox, welcome to the courtroom. How are you doing? Is alcohol out in the court? Apparently. Lit now, counsel. Huh? Oh, no. What he said. I think it's fair to say, this does all sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you say? But if you will all cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus there has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put a smear of blood in it without the word and his wife seeing? Huh. Smoke screen! Isn't that right now, counsel? It's true, I guess.
Witness has been in full view the entire time the court has been in session.
My learned friend.
Huh?
Here is to hearing your opinion on this matter. In your own words.
As you wish. Did someone have chambered with the omnibus during the trial? If you're asking me, I think it could have been possible. As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendant as best as I can. But still, it feels like there's something even more important at stake here. There is no evidence to suggest that the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, stop drinking or approach the bench with booze. I think it's wine, but the prosecution also keeps breaking the cup and throwing it into the fire the one time. So, however, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility.
Good gracious! Explain yourself, counsel.
I think my intent is clear, Your Honor.
Yes, there is. It seems my learned Nipponese friend has no intention of running from this deceit. Deceit?
I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take as a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade.
What's going on? Oh my god, I can't see it. They cover your face. It's so smoky. Can't secure it. Secure it, guys. Recess. Recess.
And that's what happened. The courtroom was filled with smoke, and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke and all the chaos, it could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. Are you wise? What are you trying to pull, ye rotten, feckless Gogurt? Gogurt. Gogurt. Feckless Gogurt? What's a Gogurt? You're supposed to be defending me. Tis a wicked plot. Tis a plot to undermine me, so it is. Where's me? Things are. Why are there so many things? Here we go.
Objection!
Objection! Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same.
Heh. Heh.
Calm down, Scrooge McDuck. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus. Inconsistencies? Such as? To start with, the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seat. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning.
Unfortunately, Lord Van Zykes, no one is able to corroborate your claims.
It's true. When Emerald was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut.
Accordingly, afraid to say we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is the result of tampering or not.
Indeed, my lord. No doubt there was not a single person who saw fit to verify such things.
What do you think? Sorry? About the omnibus. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus?
I assume so. Is it a different omnibus? Could this be a different omnibus? I have an inkling.
My lord?
Yes, Counsel.
There's one further inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial.
What?
What?
What are the devil's name are you going to say now? If you dare to betray me, you little maggot, you'd better start watching your back. Got a sword? Yeah, of course he's got a sword. He's from Japan. His friend, who was going to be the lawyer before him, carried the sword because it was a an ancestor. I don't know. But after his friend died, he took up the sword and the job of lawyer.
Silence, McGilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification.
This trial keeps swinging one way, then the other. No idea what's truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here?
I shall have to ask you to elaborate, Counsel. Where exactly is this alleged mark that you claim appeared at some point during the trial?
I don't know. I'm making stuff up. Oh, what's that? Is that the latch? Oh, we have the same problem. Women's clothes are very unpractical, aren't they? I don't... A mark that could not have existed prior to the trial. So we're talking about how bright red this is. Like, I don't remember it. Was the pool of blood on the floor before? Don't actually. Okay, hold on.
quedamos. Passenger seat was full of items, and the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. Switch went out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut. Certainty if any evidence is the result of tampering or not. Mark that could not have been present at the start of the trial. The roof latch? I think it's the roof latch. It's blood, isn't it? It's just, oh, this blood stain's so obvious that it's all. Yeah, there's been no mention of it. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Got it!
Consider that the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin. You would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this bloodstain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom. It seemed like the only option. Shouldn't forensics be doing this? Well, sure, but, you know, this is... I don't remember what era we're in. We're still using omnibuses, so, like...
Good lord. Yes, I do believe you're correct, Counsel.
Well said. You're welcome.
Hey, it's okay, you're welcome.
Although, as advocate for the defense, one might say that was a very careless slip of the tongue. I don't remember. Why would I remember that? I believe that blood stain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether that evidence is genuine or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there is at least a possibility that the evidence is fake.
Ah!
Oh. This trial is over. Mr. McGilded? I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the court, but it is all over now. But you're the defendant. It is over, I tell ye. Memory, recollection. What do people think they saw? It is all nonsense. Facts are what counts. And the fact is, that bloodstain is there. Now! Oh, well... And over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it has been, that good-for-nothing Reaper of the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalized, so I am. I thought better of Lord Van Zykes. Well, my lord.
Sir, do you have rabies? I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence.
Sure they can!
This moment in time, the particular blood stain in question is very much in existence. In the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue.
Your lordship can't be serious. Like, seriously, you cannot be serious.
Lord Van Zykes, what is your position?
The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present.
Very well. In that case, as I believe that we've explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication. As a formality, I'm of course obliged to confirm with the defense first.
What formality? What? As things stand at the moment, it would seem Mr. McGilda will be found not guilty. Yeah? Should mean we've won. Is that really the right outcome here? Is it really alright for the trial to come to an end now? With all these unexplained inconsistencies?
Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please.
Yes, my lord. The defense believes... Oh...
For justice!
I'm here in this courtroom today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. McGilded. However, at this moment in time, I cannot in all good conscience attest fully to the defendant's innocence.
What are you saying, man? Are you high?
Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove that the defendant is guilty. However, there is also no conclusive evidence to prove that he is innocent. That's not how logic works.
Good gracious me! Order! This is unprecedented behavior, counsel. Defense lawyer, calling the accused's innocence into question? Are you of sound mind?
It's debatable. Oh, it was a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was. A grand decision. What? I must say, didn't expect quite such an exciting spectacle at the end there, but still. Here, have this for your troubles. Your job is done, fella. That's fine work you've done. So you have. What? It's just as the right honourable gentleman so succinctly put it, A4. The trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how did he put it now? Nothing more than a formality.
make of all this? Was the evidence we've seen genuine? Or was it fake?
This lordship would be fuming. The unsightly rubbish should be disposed of promptly, as I said.
The stinking wretch always get guilty of something. You mark my words.
I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us the lovely park.
Now that proceedings have unfolded in this way, I'm compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea.
I thank you kindly, my lord.
I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
I object! But we still haven't determined if the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth.
Lord Van Zykes,
My lord.
the case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented its evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place.
My sincerest apologies, my lord. This is cover my fees. You don't know. Technically, I'm not even a lawyer yet. This is my trial to become a lawyer. But wait. When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zykes ordered the evidence to be secured.
I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter.
That's so unfair.
The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. What?
Well, Lord Van Zykes, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense.
I don't like you, sir. You mean to tell me this is all been a great waste of time?
It is the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law. Magnus McGilded. Good grief! You've more to say to me, have ye? Just one thing. A warning. This is far from over. Well, something to be looking forward to then.
I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded, not guilty.
Did it! Who feels good about this? Not me. Can't believe it! It's an outrage. Some evidence more. Talking about the man's been cleared. He's innocent. With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict.
My first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end, with the defendant being found not guilty. Ostensibly a victory for us.
And yet, it doesn't feel like a victory.
18th February, 5:14 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber.
It certainly was a long trial.
It was one day, guys. Calm down.
Yes it was. What kind of fireworks does Columbus have, right?
Sadly, we have none. We just save them all up for Red, White, and Boom.
Your first ever trial on foreign soil and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance.
What are you doing, Pumpernickel?
What are you doing? My heartfelt congratulations.
And to you, Mr. Sato. Thank you for your assistance. Aw. I suppose we should be happy.
Trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Well, we didn't have enough time.
But isn't it wrong? I mean, who's actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that.
Sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection.
Aye, that you did. Mr. McGilded. Ah, that girl's with him too. Well, seems the stories are true. Oh? What stories? About the 6 enormous fireworks that they do be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty. I'm sure these must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Yes, definitely. I'd heard it was a sight to behold, but and to be sure it was. Yeah. Now, if you to thank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything, did I? Magnus McGillard. What are you saying, fella? How did I walk out of there being a free man then?
Does your hat a ring pop? You're not wrong.
I think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. You're a straight talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me astray in the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. Ah, it is water under the bridge.
Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared.
Nothing's resolved. There's only one thing that matters to me. Oh? Hi. They've all seen that I didn't do that odious and abson indeed. 'Tis grand, is it not? I suppose it is. Now the fine fellas of Scotland Yard can take matters in hand and sort out any wee details. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth. I have absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay. It's not that funny. So then, as we agreed for aforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella. Oh, no. I couldn't possibly accept that much. I'd be whist. You're a humble people, are you? You from the east? Well, if you insist. What? But have this still and all. You deserve a reward. Mr. Magnus McGilded. Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom. The courtroom? What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe. Hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule. Well, I must be making tracks now. This is time for the inspection. Sorry, the what? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I wish I could be present for it myself. Going to examine it again? Now? Naturally, I have no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing my best to help where I can. It's a gentleman's duty, so it is. Sir. So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting you. I hope you have a well of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain.
There he goes. There's a coffee man.
Oh, I forgot she was here too. Stop her. Just stop her. Oh, don't move. As I want to say, get a move on. Sure does take forever to load that thing. Mr. Stroud, would you mind putting that thing down? You're a grown-up. Sorry? No, I ain't all grown-ups. Ah, there you are. What?
Naughty, running off like that.
Is this some kind of picnic? Who is this little girl now? And why is she so steampunk?
And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ah! Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me.
Hey, wait. That's like the same... Her scope on her bazooka looks the same as, Herlock Sholmes's goggles. Curiouser. Curiouser and curiouser. Excuse me, but who are you?
Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
The inventor?
Well, normally smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, more white. You have to be shrouded in smoke. Could at least be a pretty color, I thought to myself.
Have to be shrouded in smoke, though? At all?
I just took my eyes off it for a moment whilst I was changing onto a different omnibus. She pinched it. Luckily, I fitted it with a telegraphic beacon.
What's it? What? I don't know what this girl's talking about.
Anyway, you're coming with me now. Back to my laboratory. Laboratory.
What? What for?
It says 4, so... But you're correct. Seems more like what for. I'm not gonna stop you. We are gonna need to get some kind of way to sync all of them. Yeah, but like I'm more meant like synced as in like one thing that can control all of them. Yeah, but that way we can, if we wanted to sync them all, we could. Fox, you're not wrong.
I like how that bailiff's just standing there like, well,
That's a normal day. That girl there's got a bazooka. That one's got a smoke gun that she's just reloaded. Is it time for crumpets yet? Because we're in Great Britain. They eat crumpets.
To apologize, of course, silly. It's my technician.
what? You mean say sorry?
You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before.
An adult? I don't listen to no adults.
Come along then, follow me.
Fine. Have it your way.
Oh, good. You see, I knew you'd want to do the right thing in the end.
Fairly sure that she wants to not get shot by the massive bazooka.
You'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. So sorry for all the fuss.
She was a lively one.
Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way now too?
Yeah, you're right. But where to?
Oh,
We had time to find a place to stay. No sooner we arrived in London than we had to rush here. Kipper break? Our traveling cases are still with the bailiff.
I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings.
At this late hour in the day, Frey may be out of luck.
Don't worry though, I have a plan. If the worst comes to the worst, I've heard of a lovely park where we can spend the night.
Is it McGilded Park?
Please tell me you're not thinking McGilded Park.
It'll be maybe a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through.
Ah, the power of youth.
Kai-sensei!
I'm not so sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one.
Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable. Don't cry, Susato.
She's so cute.
Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room. Mansion. Could have bought a house. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there's more trying times ahead. Just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned, the case was far from over. Oh.
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water, quick! What the? How did this happen?
I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating. This can't be.
As Bubbles noted, I would just like to point out, my judge is spot on.
And a little disappointed it doesn't say Finn or something, but you know.
Realm of the Reaper.
Save your current progress.
Well, sure. Bumper Nump. Bumper Nump. Bumper Nump, Nump, Bumper Nump. Bumper Nump, 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 Bumper Nump, Nump.
The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
I'm over here trying to listen to mysteries. Bubbles like, I have a new aerobic workout! I know it's a video, that's not the point.
19th February, 9:47 a.m., British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office.
Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo?
No, not at all.
It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? Rooms were so luxurious. I felt like we were staying in a palace. With all the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than day, even in the middle of the night.
What the enormous beds? From telling the Essersbury, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space.
Wait, but you didn't sleep. Spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except, when I learnt that we owed £3 for the rooms, the dream quickly turned into a nightmare.
Oops. Sorry about that.
The building was so impressive and the entrance so inviting, I just wandered in without thinking. A lodging house in Japan that some money would put a roof over your head for a whole year.
Ha.
Did try, but afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. Oh, I really am sorry. Oh, never mind. Must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less. Ugh, London is a scary place.
Ah, good morning to you at this early hour.
Nope, and he's more like... He's like something deeper, rougher. Oh, yes! Well... Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We've come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. That son is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the imposing Lord Strongheart.
Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices.
Oh, yes. It's very eye-opening. Thank you. And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end.
Yes, I've already been appraised of events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed.
Oh! Cool!
No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern island.
Thank you very much. So I'm a lawyer now. That was easy.
Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it at once. Trust that won't be a problem.
Another case? Ready? Do you have more prep time?
Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I?
Just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it.
What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for?
Couple bad defender was not to waste time. Misstep by the court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to provide judgment. Yes, sir. I'm just gonna find the man not guilty. It's been a pleasure, short ass. Yes, sir, you bow. These are my dear fellas. I couldn't have asked for a better defense. No, sirree. Pumping doesn't like his voice. He looked at me and just mewed.
I just can't help wondering. Mr. McGilda really was innocent. Mr. Naruhodo! It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended.
Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer.
I'm sorry, what? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
Magnus McGilded passed away. Ha. Immediately following the trial.
Ha! Maybe? I don't know why. Uh-huh. Hmm. I think ours is 2. Plum, why are you climbing under the table? God bless you, Bubbles. Twice. Thrice. That's what I thought.
No!
What? Mr. McGilded is dead?
I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds till my next engagement. Time enough to talk.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm sorry, dead people said what? I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead?
After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom.
Yeah, of course. That was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGilda had been accused of.
Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames.
No. How could such a thing have happened? Because nobody's good at their job.
That is being investigated as we speak, but already police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of Mr. McGilden.
That's awful.
The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere.
He definitely needs to pay more attention. How could that have happened?
It is also being investigated as we speak.
Thinking back now. Immediately after the trial, Mr. McGill did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus. Well, I must be making tracks now. It's time for the inspection. Sorry, what? What? Better going to examine an omnibus again. So I'm told. Yes, if I could be present for it myself.
An inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage.
But then who was Mr. Gilda talking about?
Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. The matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police.
Poor Mr. McGilded. Huh. British court.
So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court?
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was... Wow. Sonarhoda means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. Pumpernickel, why? Stop it. Stop. How come you can pet her and she won't claw you, but if I go to pet her, she's like... It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. Wow. Sometimes on such a way with words. You seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones. Kid, am I saying things out loud?
The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can.
Okay. Most advanced in the world, is it?
It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair. Just murder.
Simple? That was simple?
As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose. contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple. Sure. The circumstances of the case were so incriminating. I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Is something funny?
No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve.
Okay.
That can only be attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree?
No, you told me I literally couldn't lose. What? I don't know about that.
Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much, at least, is an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before.
What's happening? What was he going to say before? Can you perhaps give us... Hey, you can't eat that. No, no, that's your mommy's candy. She said, yeah. Pay attention. Why don't you listen to her? She said, yeah. What the new case you mentioned? Don't tell me. It's a murder, and the trial starts in 10 minutes.
Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different.
Is it? I see. You just read my mind. Susato does it all the time. I think you just are saying these things actually out loud.
That is to say, no one has died as yet. The trial will not be today. There's plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise.
Ha! So the trial's tomorrow then. Awesome. Awesome possum. Is everything alright? Oh yeah. I'm just a little confuzzled. It's fine. Yesterday's trial was... Well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I don't know if I can face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. McGilden's trial.
Ah yes, I nearly forgot. There's one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there's currently no one to advocate for the defense.
Oh, so I'm the last resort? Dude.
The situation remains unchanged. The trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. If that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome.
It's a terrible end. Waits the defendant.
Yes, that's right. Here we go again. Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me. Advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking.
There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits.
Last time I mentioned the 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time.
And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Something I should like to ask you.
What's that? Hey! No! Pump, that's not even real grass. Your fake greenery on your tray? Pump, stop being a butt.
Yesterday you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I'd be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds.
Oh, Kazuma always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the... I'm sorry about this. The greatest justice system in the world worked so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing. Oh!
Another thing? Continue.
Way here on the steamship said something to me. There's something very important that I have to do.
Something very important. What exactly would that be?
He never had a chance to tell me. Suppose he would have done if he'd ever... Oh!
We have time. Well, thank you for the enlightening discussion.
Mr. Hodo, what's all this about? Yosogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me.
Urge you both to focus on your attentions on the matter at hand. Taking the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. I'll apprise you of the details.
Who's he been there?
So, wish you the best of luck and bid you farewell.
Quack!
There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean? I wish I knew. But honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we better talk to the detective, don't you think? Yes, you're right. But I'm just imagining it. I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it for a night. I'm tired. And since we've started this one but we haven't really gotten into it yet, seems like a good place to stop so we can start up with it. More of it next time. So, people of the jury, thank you all so much for coming out tonight. As always, it is greatly appreciated. 3 episodes down, 2 to go. Where we seem to be at this point. So I'm excited to see where it goes, but I realize this is technically save. Yes.
You mean about Pomp? Select adventure, because we're not even to game 2 yet. But we, you know, we do appear to be on the second to last of the adventures, is what I guess we'll call them, because that's what they're calling them. So, hopefully, as we get on to the next one, we'll be able to find another interesting case. And based off the picture from the save screen, I'm guessing that Mr. Herlock Sholmes will make another appearance. He may not, though. What do I know? So, once again, thank you all so much for watching this. Look forward to seeing you all back here with more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Till next time, this stream is adjourned. Good night, everybody.